So, healthy relationships. Okay, so what is a relationship? Like, what is a relationship? So it's more than a girlfriend and boyfriend. Those are really just labels that people put on a relationship, or like husband, wife, obviously, stuff like that. And then, but what is in a relationship? So let's start off with like the 4 main aspects of what can create a healthy relationship. So like, what does trust mean to you guys? Anyone? Like trust.
They're there when you need them to be there.
Yeah, so you can rely on them. Like you can trust in them. Like we all know what trust means. Mutual respect. So boundaries being able to be set and not crossed over. So you have to respect someone's space. You guys all know how to respect someone. And then like, what does honesty mean to you guys?
Not lying. Always tell the truth.
There you go. Good. So it's kind of hand in hand with that trust. And then communication, honestly, is the key point in any relationship, not just like romantic relationships. Like even in like work related and like school related, you have to have communication, otherwise nothing's gonna work out. Okay. So why do we care? Why do we need to talk about healthy relationships? Like, what are you guys gonna get out of this? So, as you guys are adolescents, you're having mood changes and your emotions are getting out of whack with puberty and whatnot. And so, like, according to Kim, I've like talked to her a little bit, and she said that there's been an increase in the amount of people that have been getting into relationships, and there's been like an increase in PDA in school. So I thought we can talk about that. And then there's a wrong and right way to be in a relationship. So we'll talk more about that. So the goals out of this, like how relationships can take a toll on your emotional health, what tools you can use to see if you're in a good relationship, how to be in a good relationship, and how to keep that going, and know like what signs may occur to show that maybe stuff is changing and not so much in a good relationship. And then ultimately, there's almost like 40% of marriages end in divorce, and the rate keeps on increasing. So I just feel like there's just not enough information out there to know, like there's too many other things that get in the way in a relationship to really realize if you're in a good one or a bad one. So. Okay, so some interventions. How many of you are in a romantic relationship or know some friends that are? Okay, see, so pretty much everybody. So when you're in a relationship, everything's like going good, and then something starts happening, you're like, that's kind of like, what's going on? You kind of like furrow your brow, and you might start to feel like uncomfortable, like I don't know why that person is acting that way, and you might just keep on ignoring it, and things just might be keep getting worse. So you have to feel like comfortable to be able to talk to someone when you're in a relationship. And it's okay to have an open conversation. Like if you don't agree with something, you should be able to go to your significant other and be able to talk to them and say, hey, why is this happening? What's going on? Not just ignore everything, and it just won't work out. So, like, do you guys think that if you were having relationship problems that you would talk to someone?
Yeah.
You think you would?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I mean, most often it's seen that kids really don't talk to many people about their relationship, like especially older adults. Like you probably talk to your friends about it, but you won't talk to older adults about it. And that can sometimes lead to problems because, like I brought up earlier, emotions are going wild and you're not always sure what you're getting into. And so you just gotta like continue your education, know what's going on. And so I actually have some brochures that I brought that I forgot to take out right away. Let me just grab those. guys can have these after if you want to. So we'll just go over this quick. I'll just come closer to you guys. So relationships. And then over here, since I couldn't get to print the right way. So like it talks about trust, the mutual respect, honesty, communication that I was talking about earlier. And then what does it look like? So I have a few things on here, like allow to maintain relationships with friends and family, maintain individuality. Like what do you guys think that means? You should be able to do things on your own without the other person getting mad at you for not wanting to be with them all the time. Take interest in one another's activities. Like it can't always just be one-sided or they don't care about anything that you're doing. Like that's a red flag. Open communication. I'm going to talk about communication a lot. Without fear of consequences. Like, oh, if I say this, they're going to get mad at me. You shouldn't have to have that fear when you're in a healthy relationship. You should know that you can talk to them. And then resolve conflicts fairly. It should never be like it's always one person's fault. And if you're feeling that way, maybe you need to reevaluate like what you guys are doing in the relationship. And people change. You're young. You have a long life ahead of you. And then here's some warning signs. Like feeling pressure to change who you are to please the other person. Like if you love me, you'd do this. Stuff like that. Not good. And then lack of privacy, feeling forced to share absolutely everything. You don't have to tell your significant other everything. And attempt to control or manipulate each other. Like you can't go do this without me there, or I don't want you to go here. Like not warning sign. Do not make time to spend with one another, or like it's one-sided. So like you might just have one person in the relationship constantly being like, oh, you know, we can hang out this other day, or only one person ever asks to hang out or see each other or go on a date. Stuff like that. And then lack of respect for each other's family and friends. If they care about you, they should probably care about your family. And if they don't like respect your family at all, it's not good. And don't think that like all of these, and you guys can see it in the brochure too, but don't think like all these warning signs mean like, oh my gosh, that's happening in my relationship. Like I said about communication, if you want it to work out, just talk to the person. Like let them know how you feel. And then I also have some red flags. So protectiveness turns to possessiveness. Like you can't talk to, like let's say a girl has a boyfriend and the boyfriend's like, you can't talk to any of your male friends anymore. Yeah, it's a little controlling. So probably not very good. And then irrational jealousy or accusations, like basically they don't trust you. And what did I say earlier?
Trust
You
is
need
important.
trust to have a good relationship. They never take responsibility for anything that's going wrong in the relationship. They criticize your habits, lifestyle, or what you look like. Not very good. They give you ultimatums like, well, if you don't want to go on a date with me tonight, then like I'm not gonna see you for a whole week. Like just dumb ultimatums are never good. Lack of attention until something is needed. Like attention might just be like non-existent, and then once they want, I don't know, you to do their homework or something, they're just like super affectionate. They claim self-harm, like if you love me, you would. Just like I'm gonna hurt myself if you don't come over right now. If something like that happened, you should probably talk to an adult right away and be like, this isn't okay. And then, like I said, was talking earlier about how I had a conversation with Kim. You can see that on the back side. And then just like be aware of the warning signs. They can quickly turn to red flags. So we'll keep going. Okay. Any questions so far?
Do we all get brochures?
If you want to. Yeah, sure. Okay, so some strategies to be in a healthy relationship. Communication is key. I just want to make you guys know that. So, difference between communication and effective communication. Effective communication has purpose more than just like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Like effective communication, like it might actually like get to a goal, like there's somewhere you want to go with the conversation. It's just not, how do I explain this, like just chill, pass someone on the alongside the road and just talk for a second. So recognition of like behavioral change. I guess you guys don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but like, do you guys think that oftentimes relationships start out good and then like you notice something's wrong but you don't really know what to do about it? Like you notice things are changing in the relationship but you're just like, I don't know what to do. You guys seen that, or like, even like in your friends at all?
Yeah.
Or you notice maybe their mood is changing, like they could be super happy or super mad depending on the other person. So then there's like community resources, like we have Kim here and then Miss Randall.
I'll be gone. But I'll jump in for a second and say that if you do have like, maybe you have a friend or you're having an issue with a relationship and you really don't know who to talk to, Kim would be Mrs. Kaufman would be a really good person to talk to, because she, unless someone's really, really getting hurt, she is not gonna tell anybody, so.
Exactly. And like really, I'm sure any of your guys' teachers here, if you're close like with one specific one and you talk to them, they're gonna have a lot of like even life experience to be able to talk to you guys about that as well. Or your parents, you know, if you feel comfortable with that too. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do going forward. So we're gonna evaluate your relationship, like if you're in one or if you're not in one right now. Like just hopefully from this presentation, like you guys are gonna be like, yeah, either I have a good relationship, maybe things are going on the wrong track. So just evaluate it. Know what is good for you. Like I'm not saying that every single, like if you have a few warning signs, like I'm not saying you're in a bad relationship. I'm just saying like it can be better, like it can be healthier, like mental health is very important, especially at this age. So don't let like one person control like how you feel about everything, like what's going on in your life. And then effective communication. Always talk to the significant other. Like let them know how you feel. And even like when you guys get older, you realize that like in sports, you have to talk to your teammates to know how you're gonna do good. Like in work, you have to like become a team to get to the goal. Like in my case, being a nursing student, there's so many people that work with a patient to get them better, to get them out of the hospital. So you have to have good communication to be able to talk to them, let everyone know what's happening to get them better. So there's some references at the end of that too. Any questions?